Hello, my friends. I was digging through some stuff, found this that I got recently. It's still kind of crispy. Pretty old $1 bill for just circulation stuff. This one's even older. Hello, Chew. And this one's even older. It's not often you find a Series $63 bill in your change. But I found all these and decided to keep them all because you don't see ones that old very often. Now, I was watching a video from Addicted to Minis earlier, and he was talking about a different topic, and that was, would you be happier if you had to start over again on your stack with buying, 1 ounce generics or just Bullion type pieces, much like this and that? Or this, which I recently got under melt because it has a hole in it. It's a 1 ounce 3/9 fine silver piece though, and it's down a little bit, probably about a gram, judging from that hole. Or would you be happier buying all kinds of other stuff? We'll talk about a couple of them, the other things, like this. This is a 50 centavos, 1906 Mexican coin, which is kind of neat. There's history to these kind of coins though. Not the Ike dollar so much. Except it says thin reverse, so I think I have another one in here somewhere that's the thicker one, but it's not up here right now. Put that one back. An old Mexican coin. I really didn't know I had this one because I recently bought another one from a different guy. This has been worn some. It's 1947. It's 50% silver, so it's low percentage. And this one, this is Great Britain, 6p, says $1, 50% silver, 1923. If I flip it over and look on the back, this is with the kangaroo and the emu. I'm 100% certain this is Australia, though it doesn't say it on the coin, and I thought most of them did. This, you buy stuff like this, you get something, a piece of history that's kind of cool. 1930, 90%, 6 1/4 grams. It's the same size and weight in silver as an old U.S. silver 90% quarter. Or even stuff like this Canadian one, which is silver, 80%, it's 1963. We're going back even further and getting stuff like this, which there's a lot of history to this one, and it was spent and exchanged hands lots of times. Now, if it had a mint mark, it'd be down there where that worn part is. But it doesn't look like it is, so it's probably Philadelphia. Canadian fish coin, 10 cents, 80%, I believe. Kind of neat. And then this, it's copper, 64. But out of all these I've seen, this is probably the highest grade one I've ever seen. They wrote uncirculated. And looking at it, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know what it grade, but that's besides the point. So, oh yeah, 64 Kennedy, which is often traded like bullion. Now, when asking the question, would you be happier or better off buying the 1 ounce silver pieces? Generics or otherwise. I've got a few here to show. Obviously, a Buffalo is generic as they come. This one's Golden State Mint. $28 when I bought it. With 1 ounce of silver being 40 bucks, this thing I'd probably have to pay $42, $43 for it today. That's the interesting thing about some of this stuff. And I have other ones that are kind of generic, and then ones that are from nations that aren't so generic. Here's another Golden State Mint one. Don't know what price I paid for it. Another Buffalo. I only have a few Buffaloes, but considering how much of the one stuff I have, I could have a lot of these instead, and they would be 1 ounce of silver that, you know, it's based mainly on the price of silver. This is a nice one. I kind of like it. And it's Silvertown, and I like the eagle they use on the back. It looks a lot like the eagle from the Walking Liberty. Now, and then you go back, get something like this with the locomotive on it. It's also Silvertown. It's Winchester, Indiana, is where this is made, or was made. And it's 1 ounce, 3/9 fine silver. Kind of neat. Now, you can also buy stuff from individual countries' mints, like this Philharmonic comes from Austria. And some people don't like them because they usually get milk spotted real easy. Some people don't like the design, but if you like music, you know, and I do, although I'm not listening to Philharmonic type music very often, it's still a neat piece. South Africa. This is a Krugerrand, silver Krugerrand, 1 ounce fine silver. Very simplistic design, but I like it. Has metal alignment. That means it doesn't flip like this. All right, let's go with something else that's kind of neat. You can kind of see what looks like milk spots. It's a 2021 Britannia, which is also metal alignment. I do like this. I just wish they would do something with the silver to prevent these milk spots. Don't know what they can really do, but this one's from Austria, or Australia, I mean. It's 2021 Ox, Austria, 1 ounce, 4/9 fine silver, done in a reverse proof style. I got it, when I bought it, it was about the same price as most of the generic silver rounds. I got lucky, actually, because usually these carry a bit of a premium. Now, when you want to talk about cool coins, this Cook Island one I really like, with the Bounty ship on it. And it's also metal alignment. Queen Elizabeth 2022. Now, I'll show you an example, one that isn't metal alignment. 2022 as well. American Silver Eagle. When I spin it around like that, you see what I mean. It's this way. Metal alignment would be where they did like this. That's metal alignment. That's the difference. So buying up 1 ounce pieces like this, that's 6 ounces there, and then 3 more there, and then that makes 10 ounces worth. To get 10 ounces worth of silver out of this 90% stuff, though, you would need more, because it's only about 0.715 per ounces of silver per dollar face. $1.40 of it makes about 1 ounce of silver, give or take. But that's also an ounce, although it's missing a piece of it. But even with that, I like the various historic stuff that you can get. Now, when you're digging through stuff looking for things, you can sometimes find something you forgot you had. And it's the case with this envelope. Nothing big in it. It's filled with paper money, but it's 5s and 1s. And it's a couple of 5s and then a whole bunch of 1s. Some of these have interesting serial numbers, and that's why I kept them. Over a few years of keeping these, and you kind of forget how many. There's a W on the, that's kind of neat. That just indicates how many times they went through the serial numbers. That's a pretty neat serial number right there. 48494858. Almost a repeater. And that's why I kept it. One, two, three, four, and 2009. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a ladder. If it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then you would have a ladder across the whole serial number, and that makes it collectible. That one's almost a repeater, 6611, 6221. Had it been 6611, 6611, that'd been a repeater. That too would have been collectible. But none of these are really collectible in this stack anyway. That's kind of neat. So this entire little stack of paper money, which you tell me how much you think's here. It's all 1s except for 2 5s. Probably $60, maybe. It's a pretty good size thickness of 1s. But I knew I had this stuff, I just did not know where it was. But what you're really looking for, if you didn't see the beginning, this is what you're looking for. You want that. That's binary. There's 2 numbers in the serial number. On eBay, people were asking $30, $40, $50 for these. This one's got a fold, but not terrible. I found this about a month ago, probably. And then just a week or 2 later, I got this, which is also a binary, but it's a $1 bill. Still collectible, though. Those are the kind of bills you're looking for. Because collectors will pay extra for a binary note. And they'll probably pay extra for a ladder or a repeater or a radar, which these aren't. But just buying various, here's another one that's a ship. I like the ship on this. I like the way it looks anyway. It's from Rwanda. It's a neat piece. And now, but there's no history with that. Something like this piece on peso from Guatemala, there's some history to this. It's a 90% coin, 1896. I got this right at melt when I bought it. This is started at 25 grams. It's 0.7234 ASW, although it's slightly worn. It's a neat piece. I like the history more than I like just a 1 ounce silver piece like this. But I have a little of both. Let's show you another one that's kind of neat. These A-Mark Liberty Bells with a date on them are vintage. It's 84. Some of them don't have dates, but I really like the Liberty Bell on this. And then this one is a 1/2 ounce piece, joint issue from, well, not really joint issue, Canada issued it, and it was the joining of American and Canadian, like, special forces brigade or unit. It says First Special Service Force Premier. They called it the Devil's Brigade, or at least that's what the coin dealer I bought it from said. Let's see. A couple other 1 ounce pieces I have that are kind of neat. Another Buffalo. This one doesn't say Golden State Mint. Saw a video, I think it was Stack Attack Wager, and he had buffaloes from every different type you can get. Apparently there's 77 different buffaloes made, designs and stuff. At least that's what he said. And you get these little Libertads, like this one's a 1/4 ounce one. I bought it when silver was $24. Probably should have never got that price. These things are really low mintage. Alright, speaking of Libertads, here's one. 2003. Libertads are neat pieces. I did pay a little over melt when I bought that one, but it's under melt now. And this is a silver. It's 1 ounce silver. It is not what this says. At least I hope it's silver. I'm gonna have to take this into a coin dealer and have them put it on the Sigma, because it does say copy on it, because it's copying this design of the trade dollar. Guess I could get out my scale and see if it weighs an ounce. If it doesn't weigh an ounce, then I'm in trouble. I bought something that wasn't what it was, what they said it was. Alright, talk about some other historic pieces. 1825, 50-cent cap bust $1/2. Worn a little bit. A lot of history with that. This 1831's not worn as much. A lot of history with them. Really neat pieces. There's something about this older United States coins like this that I like a lot. Because they do have history. Alright, another Silver Eagle. 2001 with toning. Probably not. Probably artificial. But I got it right about the same price as a generic Buffalo was, because it's in a bag with a bunch of generic 1 ounce rounds. This is probably also not natural toning on this piece dollar. But because the dealer I bought it from doesn't like toning too much, this was right at melt when I bought it. And he also had this Morgan dollar with the same kind of toning on it. Probably artificial. But when I bought it, $26 was, I think, 50 cents over melt, maybe. And this one actually was at melt or under melt. So you buy what you like and don't make any apologies about it. But sometimes when you're buying stuff like this is a 1984 Libertad, the older design. I like this. But when you're buying these 1 ounce pieces like this, buying and selling them is pretty easy. You just figure out what the price of silver is, and you go from there. Here's another Buffalo, very similar to that one. When I bought it, $26.75, silver being $40. This is well worth more than $26.75 now. All right, where'd that one thing go I wanted to look at? Oh, here it is. Another pretty interesting vintage round. I have two of. You can see 26.50 again. Silver was much lower when I bought that. This other one, I don't know what price it was because I got it at a different time. But I like the ship, the USS Constitution. Honest value never fails. Neat pieces. Another pretty neat piece, Standing Liberty 1 ounce silver round, which is kind of cool. It says copy on it, but it's silver. It says copy because it's got the design of the Standing Liberty quarter on it. I have a Walking Liberty one around here somewhere, but I'm not going to probably be able to find it real quick, maybe. Well, I take that back. It wasn't hard to find at all. Walking Liberty. It also says over here, copy. But at least it better not be not silver. All right. This is a vintage one piece, 74. Kind of neat. On this piece, my buddy, the Kansas Kid, sent me this. It's a Monarch Silver made this. It's a hieroglyphic Egyptian theme bar, which doesn't have a perfectly round shape or nothing. It's kind of like a lump. So I got some weight measurement to do. I'm gonna have to weigh these because, and also this one, to make sure they're 1 troy ounce, because I'm starting to get nervous thinking about when they say copy on them. Bicentennial silver quarter. The only 40% quarter there was that I know of. This little 5-gram bar is somewhat collectible. Usually when you buy these, you pay a big premium over what it would be, but I got this from a guy who likes to price this stuff by its weight in silver. So I got it relatively cheap. And this one's a 10-gram one. It's kind of neat too. You can kind of see it's thicker. They're pretty close to the same size dimensions otherwise. It's just the one's 10 instead of 5. But anyway, we can talk about all kinds of stuff like these. They made a lot of these San Francisco ones. Not so much of the one that's just uncirculated. This one's a proof. It's kind of neat. But 23.50, I wouldn't I probably wouldn't pay much more than about melt for these. But you can always ask the other question though. With silver being $40-something an ounce, is it time to start selling some? Or do you expect it to keep going up? I don't know. I mean, it's hard telling what silver's going to continue to do. We never really know. This looks like it got antiqued, cleaned and then antiqued to make it look like this. It's kind of neat looking actually. But this is only worth about probably about $6 at today's prices. It's not a super valuable piece. But I do like history of these older coins like this. This is a 34 San Francisco. You can tell it's not a D. I don't even know if they made a Denver one that year. They made these from 21 to 28, and then they stopped making them during the Depression. And then 34 and 35, they came back and made a few more. None of the 34 or 35s are super high mintages. And the 34S in mint state, which this isn't, is a pretty valuable coin at mint state, $60,000, a few $1,000s. But pretty much covered what I wanted to cover with this video. I do like my history, and versus just 1 ounce pieces. This one's kind of interesting though. The last one I'm going to show you. This one's a King Charles on it. It's 1 1/4 ounce, 3/9 fine, which it says 1 1/4. So you only need 4 of these to get 5 ounces instead of 5. And at the price I paid for it, until it's pretty far under melt right now. But when you're buying this stuff, you never know how much it's going to be worth in the future. Because, well, for one thing, King Charles probably won't be king for a real long time because he's an older gentleman. But keep, looking for stuff, and sometimes you can find interesting things. But that's pretty much what I got for this. I think I'm going to go ahead and say good night. Thanks to everyone who stopped by to watch. We'll talk at you maybe tomorrow.